What if your birth wasn't an accident, but a summoning? What if your body wasn't just a vessel, but a message written from within? And what if you were marked before memory, not with ink, but with sacred fire? There are symbols hidden in your hands, strange yet familiar. A crescent moon beneath your finger, an M formed by intersecting lines, lines that weren't supposed to touch. Most dismiss them, some never see them. But for a few, these signs are keys. They don't tell your future, they awaken your past. In ancient Hermetic rites, such markings were never random. They were glyphs of the soul, a spiritual seal, a reminder of the pact you made before descending into this world. If you carry the crescent, you were born to see the unseen. If you carry the M, you were forged to lead from fire. But if you carry both, then you were never meant to walk quietly. You were meant to burn gold through your blood. The alchemist knew, and he left the sign not in the sky, but on your own skin. The wind rises, silence follows. So look at your hands once more, because your journey doesn't begin with a question. It begins with a remembrance. And the first clue has been resting in your palm all along. Before your name was spoken, before your first breath stirred the veil, something was already written. Not on scrolls, not in stars, but on you. Your palm, silent and unassuming, is a tablet of memory, a page from your soul's first chapter. The lines are not merely biological, they are imprints of initiation. Not fortune-telling curiosities, but messages left for the day you would be ready to see. Some say we choose our bodies before birth, but the body does not come empty. It arrives with codes, placed like breadcrumbs across skin, so that the seeker might one day awaken. The crescent moon, the M, these are not decorative accidents. They are glyphs of remembrance, echoes of what you agreed to forget. The alchemist taught, the soul will hide the key in the hand that forgets it holds it. You've looked at your hands your whole life, but have you ever truly seen them? Not as flesh, but as maps. Maps that lead not outward, but inward. Not forward, but back to the sacred contract your soul once made under starlight. So if your hand holds a sign, perhaps it is not asking you to know your future, but to finally remember your origin. And if your hand carries a map, who or what is it leading you back to?
It begins as a shimmer, a gentle curve beneath the pinky, delicate, almost invisible, but once you notice it, you cannot unsee it. This is the seal of the seer, a symbol whispered from beyond the veil. Those who carry it were born with a second sight, not of the eyes, but of the soul. The crescent is a portal, not to another place, but to another perception. It means the world will often seem louder to you, sharper, softer, filled with echoes others don't hear, visions others don't trust. You feel before words arrive. You sense before the event unfolds. And for that, you may have been called strange, or gifted, or cursed. But the alchemist knew better. He taught that the crescent is not the symbol of fragility, but of the mirror within. It is the moon that reflects the light of unseen suns. You were born to walk between worlds, to hear what silence says, to trust the shiver before danger, to follow the warmth before the door opens. This gift is not to be proven, it is to be protected, because the world will tempt you to abandon it, to doubt it, to close it. But the crescent is a promise, and promises made before birth do not break. They simply wait to be honored. Have you been silencing the one voice that was always telling the truth? The other sign doesn't whisper, it burns. An M etched in the meeting place of head, heart, and life. 3 rivers that should never align, and yet they do. Not by chance, but by calling. This is the mark of the initiated leader. Not a leader of crowds, but of energy, of transformation. The M appears on those who were born to transmute the world by first transmuting themselves. It is the fire line. Those who carry it are often tested early, pushed, broken, reforged. Why? Because the M demands that you become gold, not simply wear it. You are the one people watch without knowing why. The one who speaks and rooms grow quiet. The one who dreams in fire and cannot settle for ordinary things. But with great light comes great resistance. You've likely doubted it, hidden it, chased other paths hoping to feel smaller. But the M doesn't leave. It waits. It waits for the day you stop running and start leading. Not from ego, but from alignment with your inner flame. The alchemist taught, when the soul is ready to rise, it signs its name with fire. And that fire is now waiting for you to remember it. What part of your destiny have you been pretending not to see? 1 mark is a calling. 2 is a summoning. When the crescent moon and the M appear on the same hand, you are no longer being nudged, you are being awakened. This rare combination is not a coincidence. It is a convergence, a spiritual alignment so precise it echoes the mathematics of the stars. The moon whispers, the M ignites. Together they form a mirror and flame. The moon brings vision, the M brings action. One to reveal the path, the other to walk it. If you carry both, you are a living bridge between the visible and the unseen. You are not here to choose between being mystical or powerful. You are here to embody both. But this also means your path will not be easy. The world resists those who cannot be defined. You will be misunderstood, tested. And yet, those who hold both marks were never meant to be understood. They were meant to be remembered. You are not here to fit the mold. You are here to shatter it and then forge something sacred from the pieces. The alchemist knew.
When the moon and fire live in one hand, the world must change, or the hand will burn. Are you still trying to be ordinary when your very skin defies it?
To the untrained eye, the lines on your palm look random, but randomness is the language of the unaware. In truth, your hand is not anatomy, it is geometry, sacred, ancient, intentional. The crescent is not just a curve, it is the lunar arc, the same one seen in the night sky. The M is not just an intersection, it is the threefold flame, mind, heart, and soul aligned. Together they speak a language older than words, older than ink, older than history. Your palm is a sigil, a living spell, etched by the soul's own design. Every angle, every slope, every intersection, a sentence from the book of you. In Hermeticism, geometry is the blueprint of reality. To understand form is to understand function. To see the spiral is to touch the eternal. You were formed not only to function, but to remember. You are the temple, and your hand is the altar where remembrance begins. That's why certain marks call to you, why some symbols stir something ancient in your chest, because deep down, your soul recognizes its own handwriting. The alchemist taught, do not seek truth in the stars if your own skin holds the map. What would change if you believed your palm was never random but divine?
You didn't ask to be born with these signs, and yet they're still here, unfaded, unmoved. That's because you didn't choose them, your soul did. But once you entered this world, something happened. You forgot the mission, forgot the flame, forgot what the marks were for. And life has a way of making you forget even faster. School, fear, noise. The crescent faded into the background. The M became just lines. You stopped believing in signs because no one else seemed to see them. But the marks didn't vanish. They waited. Because no true flame truly dies. It only waits for enough stillness to flicker again. And now you're noticing. Not because someone told you to, but because something inside you remembered. The fire is not new. It's returning. The alchemist warned, there will come a moment when the soul knocks again. If you do not answer, the signs will burn instead of guide. This is that moment. You were not meant to stay asleep. The pain you feel, the restlessness, it's not random. It's the friction of remembrance. You are being asked to stop pretending that your hands are just hands. They are keys, and they are glowing again. Will you dare to open what they've always been pointing to?
In every great teaching, there is a pattern, a cycle, an echo of the four elements: earth, air, fire, water. Those who carry both the crescent and the M, they carry all four within. The crescent is water, intuition, reflection, depth. The M is fire, purpose, willpower, transformation. Your hands, physical and grounded, are earth. And the whisper that led you here today, that is air.
You are the vessel where the elements converge, not to stay dormant, but to alchemize. Because the marks are not trophies, they are blueprints. You are meant to channel water into wisdom, fire into action, earth into structure, and air into guidance. You are not just someone with symbols. You are a living equation. And now the elements are moving again. Your dreams are louder. Your body pulses with a restlessness that cannot be explained. That is not madness. It is awakening. You are not just meant to understand the path. You are meant to walk it as the path. The alchemist taught, once the four elements recognize themselves in you, you no longer follow destiny, you become it. So ask yourself, which element have you ignored the longest?
There is a cost to remembering, but there is a greater cost to forgetting. You've likely felt it. Moments where nothing made sense, yet everything hurt. Times when your body was alive, but your soul felt missing. That's what happens when sacred signs go unacknowledged. They don't disappear, they turn inward. The crescent begins to ache. The M becomes heavy. The fire starts burning from the inside out. Why? Because you're trying to live a life that was never yours. A life too small for the blueprint marked on your palm. You chase jobs, titles, people, but nothing feels like home. Because home isn't a place, it's a state of alignment. And when the soul strays from that alignment, it cries out. Pain is not punishment, it's redirection. The world will tell you to numb it, ignore it, hide it. But the alchemist knew. The soul only screams when you've silenced the whispers too long. What you feel is not weakness. It is the sacred price of forgetting. And yet, even now, you can still return. The signs are still there, and they are still yours. If you are brave enough to remember, are you willing to let go of who you became to survive? You have been searching for direction, but the direction is not out there. It was never meant to be. Every external quest, every unanswered prayer, every closed door was guiding you back to one truth. You are the path. The marks on your palm are not maps to something distant. They are activation points, sacred switches, portals to remembrance. When you stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "What am I made of?" the road begins to reveal itself. Not all at once, not in a flash of clarity, but in moments, synchronicities, whispers. Feelings that refuse to fade. That is your soul realigning with its own signal. And the signal grows clearer the more you stop resisting what you already know. The alchemist taught, the path does not open when it is clear. It opens when you are. So the marks on your hands, they are not instructions. They are reminders. You already came with everything you need. Your only task is to remember how to use it. What if the sign you've been waiting for is the one you've been carrying since the beginning?
Maybe you've tried to live a quiet life, to shrink into the background, to be normal. But the truth is, you were never made to be ordinary. And deep down, you've always known that quiet hum beneath your skin, that voice that says, "There's more," that ache that won't let you settle. The word
taught you to doubt it, to explain it away, to fear your own flame. But marks like these, the crescent, the M, they do not appear on the hands of spectators. They appear on initiates, the kind who don't just live through life, but change it. The kind who come to break patterns, to dissolve illusions, to turn shadow into gold. That's why you've always felt different. Not broken, not too much, just different. Because your frequency was never meant to match the noise around you. It was meant to tune others. The alchemist said, "The ones who burn silently are often carrying the light for those who cannot yet see." You've carried that light long enough in silence. Now it wants to speak. Are you ready to live the life your soul signed for before the world told you to forget? There is a moment every alchemist must face. The moment of return. It doesn't come with fireworks or grand revelations. It comes softly, like a whisper across ancient stone. You stop. You look at your hands, and you see them for what they are, sacred instruments. That's when everything changes, because remembering is not a thought. It's a shift. Your heartbeat aligns with your purpose. Your breath slows into truth, and the pain that once confused you now makes sense. You were never lost. You were only buried beneath fear, beneath noise, beneath other people's stories. But your soul never left. It waited for you at the edge of forgetting. And now, here you are. You have walked the circle. You have followed the symbols. You have looked into the mirror that is your palm. And what do you see? Not a line, not a mark, but a threshold. One that says, if you step through this, nothing will ever be the same. The alchemist smiled once and whispered, when you return to your hands, you return to your power. Are you ready to cross the threshold you've carried since birth? So what now? What do you do when you realize your hands are altars, your breath is sacred, and your life is a ritual waiting to begin? You activate, not by force, not by pretending, but by choosing. Choosing to listen to the intuition you silenced. Choosing to follow the symbols. Choosing to stop asking for signs and start becoming one. The crescent in your palm is a key to vision. The M is a command to lead. Together, they are not decoration, they are initiation. You are never meant to wait for permission. You are meant to remember the authority already written into your flesh. This is not the end of your journey. This is the ignition. You may not have all the answers, but you now hold the map, quite literally, in the palm of your hand. The alchemist left you with this final truth. The soul does not need a guide when the body becomes the temple. So, what will you do with the fire that never left? And what becomes possible now that you've seen what your hands were always trying to show you? Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart and listen. I carry the mark, not of fate, but of fire. Not of destiny, but of choice. Not to follow, but to lead.
I remember now, and I walk forward not as one who searches, but as one who knows. I am the mirror, I am the flame, and I was never lost, only waiting to awaken.